Today's wellness activity is creating a mandala. Mandalas have been used in lots of different contexts, especially recently, but most traditionally they are used in Eastern tradition as a meditative practice and an expression of the self and finding one's true self. It can be for enlightenment purposes, and they are most traditionally done actually with colored sand. Today, we are not going to use colored sand. We're going to do something a little bit different. We are only going to need a piece of paper. It can be a regular size piece of paper or something a little bit bigger. We're going to need a pencil, some mark making tools. So that might be crayons, pencil crayons, markers. And if you would like, we're also going to need something that is round in order to trace the outer layer as well as maybe the inner layers of your mandala. That's totally up to you though. Lots of people like to also just freehand it. And it's a good practice that things don't have to be perfect, but if it brings your anxiety down a little bit, or it just helps you to create in a peaceful and calm way to have something traced, then by all means, go grab some materials to trace some different size circles. So pot lids are always a good one, candle holders, jars, things like that. Mandalas, like I said, they've been used for lots of different purposes. For today's purpose, we are going to use it as a mindfulness activity, as an expression of ourselves, and as a calming relaxation activity. And so I'm going to pull up the screen share. And so, as I said, mandalas for wellness purposes or within the art therapy setting are expressions of the self and represent the sum of who we are. They represent all parts of us contained in one circle, connected and balanced. And so what you'll notice is that when you create something in the form of a circle, everything inside it is all interconnected, just like we are. These are just a few examples of some different mandalas that have been used to express oneself. I really want you to see here that there's no right way to do a mandala. And so some people like to create a pattern and rings that come all the way to the very edge and like to create it balanced right out of the center. Some people like to have their center point or balance point off to the side, or they like to fill it with an image. It can be anything that you want it to be. It does not have to be done a certain way or produced a certain way. It's an expression of who you are. And so you'll notice lots of different colors, different patterns. Some people like to draw an image that represents a certain part of themselves, or some people like to just use line and shape, and they know what the meaning of each line and shape is and how that relates to who they are. And so using a pencil, you're going to create a large circle on your sheet of paper. Within that circle, if you would like, you can create some layers. You don't have to, but that is an option. And like I said, you can always trace if that's something that maybe makes you a little happier. And so this circle, this big circle, is you. We are going to each take time to fill it, creating our mandala, which will be a representation of you in this moment. You can start in the middle or on the edge or wherever feels right. If you feel stuck and you kind of think, I don't know where to start, I've put a couple prompts here that might be helpful. And so those are things that you might be grateful for, joys that are in your life, thoughts and feelings, maybe a role that you're playing in your life right now, or what defines you in this moment. And so thinking about maybe some of those things or other things that have come to your mind, we're now going to take the next 20 minutes to each complete our mandalas. And if we would like to share after, we are welcome to share. If we don't want to share, that's okay too. I encourage you to make your environment comfortable. And if you want to play some music that is calming or that makes you happy or just is something that you feel is right in this moment, then by all means, go ahead. I will be here if anyone has any questions.